Hello, and welcome to Never Play Alone's podcast, NeverPodcastAlone. My name is Canadia, and I will be your host as we discuss various topics regarding Never Play Alone and the games we love to play. Today, we're going to be going over the name change from TEAMDIXX to Never Play Alone and the history and future of this community. I'm joined by Aggressor.
Hey, great to be here.
And the Chuck Dixx.
Hey, what's up, guys?
To introduce myself a bit more, I'm not technically Canadian, just basically. It's a fun little inside joke between my friends that's just stuck. I was born and raised in Michigan, and because I was so northern compared to my group of southern friends, that Michigan became Canada's last frontier. And hence, my nickname was born, Aggressor. Can you tell us who you are?
Sure, I'll tell you. I am an active duty Navy officer. I've been doing, I've got 18 years of active duty service. I was in the Army, and I had a break in service where I was a police officer for a little while.
Chuck, your turn.
Sure. I am Chuck Dixx, known as Chuck Dixx. I grew up the son of a farmer. I now live in New York City. I'm a father, business owner, have a daughter, another child on the way, and that's about it. I love content creation, technology, and esports.
Chuck, what was your background before trying to found a community? What did you do before all of this?
So growing up the son of a farmer, I've always believed that that's the like foundational beginning of being a business owner, an entrepreneur. I learned a lot from my dad working in the field and on the horse farm. So that's kind of where I started. As I moved through, high school and college, I had jobs where my work ethic, communication skills, and just desire to live the best life always propelled me forward and up the hierarchy to management positions and so much trust and, leading teams and stuff like that. That then turned into, I got an opportunity to work and travel all over the world. I did that for about 5 years. It was specifically in the industry of entertainment, advertising, and marketing. At the age of 24, 23, I think, I started a business where I was focusing on technology and wellness. I did that with my best friend. That was wildly successful. We were based in New York City, had a lot of blue chip clients, and we're really well known. Got my feet wet in angel funds and early stage investing, and then just met a bunch of people who continued to broaden my horizons. And then back in September of last year, so around 7 months ago, I exited that business, and now, here we are. I've been doing this full time for a while, but that's pretty much the background of how all of this came to be what it is. Just I put all those principles into most aspects of my life when I'm not messing around. Work hard. What you're doing at that moment is the most important thing you could be doing, and surround yourself with great folks.
Yeah, I always hear you say you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. I feel like that was a quote from one of Aggressor's leadership development books.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, for sure. No, it totally is. You didn't make that shit up, Chuck.
Oh, I didn't make it up. I know who made it up, though.
So, Aggressor, you've been a huge part of the foundation for Never Play Alone for years, but some people who are new might not know who you are or what you've done. Can you tell us a bit more about what you do?
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked. I am sort of the operations manager for Never Play Alone. I've been on a bit of a break. My real world work has sort of taken me away from the community, for the day-to-day activities that I used to take a charge of. But I would say, operations manager is essentially where I fit in, right? And we have a role right now called the GOATs, right? The greatest of all time. So I'm like a shadow goat I'm watching things behind the scenes and sort of keeping an eye on things, keeping things running here and there where I can provide input. But you know, long-term operations is essentially what I do for the community.
Aggressor, you've been in TEAMDIXX and now Never Play Alone for a while. How did you come to find TEAMDIXX?
I found TEAMDIXX from Chuck in 2018. Shortly after, actually, one of our key titles in the community, Hell Let Loose, was released. Just a couple of weeks after Hell Let Loose was released. I saw the game. I saw it had some relation to Battlefield 2, which I had many, many hours in, and I loved the way that the communication and teamwork worked in that. So I downloaded Hell Let Loose. I had been at sea with the Navy, so I didn't really have an online community at all. So I was playing Hell Let Loose and, found, I played on a couple different servers, usually like official servers. Maybe, in fact, I think I met Chuck on an official server.
Probably.
Because you weren't hosting any servers at the time. And so you were the commander, I think, and I was a squad leader. And I enjoyed the squad leader role because I could hear the commander on one ear and I could hear the squad on the other ear. And so I sort of had a full understanding of what was going on the game field. And I was very impressed with Chuck. I found that he had a natural leadership ability. And I don't want to embarrass you too much here, Chuck, or myself, but leadership is what I've done for a long time. In the military, we train leaders at a very young age, right? So for a long time, I've been trained as a leader, and I've studied leadership extensively and practiced it. And I immediately recognized that Chuck had natural leadership abilities. And I was surprised when I asked him what his military background was, and he didn't have any. So at the end of the match, he was spamming Discord.com. And I was like, I think I've heard of Discord. Let me see what this Discord.com thing is. I jumped in there. I got involved immediately with the community, started making friends, talking in general chat. I really enjoyed it. And again, since I was coming off of sea duty, I didn't have any online community presence. I took straight to TEAMDIXX and haven't left since. Yeah, so that's me. I know that was a longer answer than you were looking for, but that's how I came to be in TEAMDIXX.
So where exactly did the name TEAMDIXX come from? It's such a unique name.
It is. The internet is one big meme, man. And TEAMDIXX came from the last part of my name. We were playing PUBG at the time, and we decided that, I think it was PUBG or Call of Duty or League of Legends, something. And there was the ability to add the tag of the group. And it was a lot smaller back then, our community. And we were like, well, what are we going to put on it? And then, the Dix thing had always been a good laugh. So somebody mentioned, I can't remember, Unexpected Finger Dix or like Chardmander Dix or something like that. And everybody was cracking up and it just happened. So people put the Dix on their name. And the next thing you know, it was known as TEAMDIXX. In like the organization, sense, the clans as they are called on the internet, or teams. Prior to that, though, in the Discord, I'd always kind of referred to TEAMDIXX as, the community that people were a part of that I started by myself and, was in here solo dolo trying to get people to come in and join the Discord and hang out and have a good time. So, but as far as it being like a clan tag and like that kind of like spurring into a whole another monster that happened kind of like as a joke. So that's basically the background.
Why did you build this community around content creators, tech enthusiasts, and your fun term of aggressively average tryhards?
I've always built stuff around what I wanted to enjoy myself. That's what we are. That's what I am. And that's what we are because like attracts like. So if you put a stamp on something saying dope ass coffee shop, guess who's going to come? people who want dope ass coffee, right? Like if you say, hey, this is an organic, fresh market, guess who you're going to attract? Somebody who likes yoga or something like that. So you have to define what the group represents and the folks that you want to be attracted to it. If you say, I've got this free workout in the park, you're going to attract people who are into wellness, right? And then the wellness is going to be a whole nother topic that spirals downhill, and it's going to just continue to bring in more commas, comma. So that's tech enthusiasts or content creators, right? That's something that I've loved, the industry of content creation for Twitch and YouTube. I mean, we really got to see this whole internet thing explode in front of our own eyes. And, I've been a big believer in trends and riding the wave at the right time, and being now on the side of, man, we weren't the ones who planted the seed, but it's still really, really early in the overall timeline of the internet and content creation. Let's establish ourselves. Let's get behind this, and let's invest in the things that we love with folks who also love that. So that's the content creator aspect. Technology, that kind of plays into what we just talked about as far as the platforms that are available, the programming languages, the hardware, the software, the mixture of the two, and the opportunities that can come from somebody who's outside the box thinking, or able to just kind of like throw it all together and package it in a way that's attractive or useful, a utility. So, I've always been a huge fan of technology. I think we probably all have. I remember playing with those. You set the wires up when you're like a kid, and it like makes like a radio. I can't remember what it's called, but I had one at like 5, and I was just so fascinated by like this computer where I could follow these diagrams, connect it, and then have whatever it was, like a trip alarm, or like, a radio or something like that. So then the aggressively average tryhards is just for, people who like to compete. I don't play games or like get involved in a match to lose, right? We don't jump into a battle royale or get into a Tarkov raid to get shot and have all our stuff taken. We want to win. So that's the aggressively average is catered to the fact that we think that everybody could be an above average tryhard, which is what I would classify myself as. But we want to have like a low bar for folks to get in, feel comfortable, whether you're somebody who just got a PC, right, and has no idea about gaming, to those who have had a long history of CSGO and the original Call of Duties and Halos, and we're competing way back in the day on Battlefield. Those guys also have a home here, but we always keep it friendly. Win, lose, draw. It's always it's not super aggressive or cutthroat. So we try to maintain that vibe. That's what the aggressively average tryhard represents. I mean, what do you think, Aggressor?
Yeah, I mean, those 3 words describe you, right? So you created the community. You are a content creator, a tech enthusiast, and an aggressively average tryhard. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, those are the people you're looking for. By putting that tag on there, those are the people that we have gotten, right? And the people who are not in line with that quickly realize it and either leave or they're shown the door. And that's kind of been my role sometimes, right? To make sure that we're all sort of aligned. And also, for TEAMDIXX and NPA, that's the appeal for the people in our community. That's why we are having, 10, 20, 30, 40 people join and stick around every day because we are, trimming out the folks that aren't aligned with that. And nothing wrong with going a different direction, but this is who we are. And if you want to hang out with us, come on and get on board, or don't, and can see the door. So yeah, I love it. We are completely aligned on the kind of folks we're looking to hang out with and the community that we're creating.
Chuck, Aggressor, you've made it to some of the TEAMDIXX meetups, right? Which ones have you guys made it to?
I think Chuck's been to all of them, but I have only been to one. Thanks COVID. We went to DreamHack Atlanta. It was our biggest one. I'll let Chuck talk about the history of the other ones, but for DreamHack Atlanta, We had 20. Is that right? 10?
Definitely not 10. Definitely
it was 20.
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 20. So we had people come and go over several days, but at one point we did have 20 or 19. Actually, we had 20. We had 19 members and a spouse join us. So we had 20. And I'll tell you, there was no team at DreamHack that could match our numbers and our swagger when we came in wearing our jerseys, walking down the main through fair there, 10, 12 deep wearing jerseys. Nobody else could touch us. And it made quite a scene. We were also recording. We recorded some live events, recorded for content to show later. And we participated in different, they had some indoor sporting things. They had the virtual reality setup. So we made a huge impression at DreamHack Atlanta. There was, the only people who came close to our numbers was the Army esports team, and they stayed in their cube. They didn't get out like we did. So it was an awesome time. And then, that was just at the event, right? After the event and before the event, we had a house where we met up with people. We did some, Top Golf. We did some axe throwing. We did, all kinds of events outside of that too. But we also gamed and recorded, just live recorded the house, Big Brother style, just us hanging out, talking. So all around an awesome event. I think it was the most widely attended at the time. But Chuck, what were the other events that you guys did?
So TEAMDIXX and NPA has always been big on providing an exceptional digital experience. But beyond that experience that you can have online with somebody, I've always known like connecting with somebody in person can really show them. You can learn a lot about those folks. When you get boots on the ground at an event, there's so much to learn as a team, and especially as we are focusing on esports and have goals for to be in events, if not hosting our own or co-hosting our own, then you got to be there and see what's going on, what the trends are. Back to the trends, you got to see what's going on and either create it or join in with somebody who's already doing it. So the first event was at Barclays, and that was an ESL. It was ESL for Counter-Strike. And I wasn't a really big player of Counter-Strike, but I wanted to go to this event and meet people and see the booths and, it was technology, video games, and content creators. So I thought, well, obviously, like that makes sense. And it's close to me. I live in New York City. So we got a few guys together. I got t-shirts made with our logo on it and our names on the back. And we attended this event and we walked around and we met a ton of people and really just kind of let our presence known. That was 4 people, myself included. The next event was TwitchCon, and that was in 2018. And that was a whole nother beast because that grew in numbers. We were, again, I think three that went there together. But, from the Twitch community, being content creators, we had other creators there that we met up with. It's funny to see people like that you see on stream and on Twitch, and then you see them in real life, and all of a sudden they're like down the hallway shouting, your handle or your name, and we're playing each other up. Like I remember my buddy, he was on top of this balcony when he saw me in the line, and he's like, "Oh my God, is that Chuck Dixx? Is that Chuck Dixx?" Just screaming my name in front of a few thousand people, really playing it up. Just that's fun. It's fun. So you get to go to these events and you get to have these. We provide these exceptional digital experiences that you'll never forget. You'll be dreaming about it. You'll be thinking about it tomorrow at work. You'll want to be going home and getting on the computer with your homies, the buddies who you just have a blast with. Well, we want to take that a step further. We want to meet up and actually have like meaningful relationships with the folks that we get online with when we're kicking back. Grow with, help them. Enhance their lives outside of gaming, and see just everybody improve and achieve their goals and grow and enjoy this life, in and outside of our computer. So that's what the meetups have been based around, and it's always around we always attend events that are geared towards technology, content creation, or esports.
With the community shifting gears in 2021, including the shift from the name TEAMDIXX to Never Play Alone, what exactly led to that decision?
Aggressor, do you remember when we first spoke about TEAMDIXX and a name change?
Yeah, it was as soon as I joined and continuously throughout. We have talked about it a lot for several reasons, but mostly I think marketing. Although TEAMDIXX is catchy, and as you were saying, people love to shout it at the public events. When we were at DreamHack Atlanta, people would yell at us, TEAMDIXX, here comes TEAMDIXX, right? They love to say it. It's very catchy. But I think also for marketing purposes, we got, and for like first impressions, we got some sort of negative feedback from people who would normally otherwise be great contributors to the community. They were turned off because they mostly didn't give it a chance to figure out who we are. So I feel like Never Play Alone is a little more, I suppose, PC, and gives people a little less pause when they're joining the community. But yeah, it's been from the beginning and continuously throughout. And we were just waiting. We would ask people in the leadership community, like, hey, what, if you have a problem with TEAMDIXX, then what is the right answer? Tell us. Let's talk about what the right answer is. And nobody could really come up with anything until we got to the name NPA.
Yep. Yeah. So TEAMDIXX has always kind of been that placeholder, and there's never really been a name that was as fun to talk about or something that we were going to really stand behind and, wave the flag of. A name is important for morale and a lot of things. Sometimes it's not at all. Sometimes you can have a word like Google, and that's the name, and it doesn't mean anything. And they build their own thing. I didn't really feel like that was the case for a content creator, TRYHARD, group on the internet. You can't just have a weird name and like somebody be like, oh, I want to be a part of Zaboomskis. Like nobody is attracted to the Zaboomskis. What the hell is that, right? So,
some people might be attracted to it, but maybe not the people we want to attract.
Exactly. There you go. You guys got that name for free. The Never Play Alone though is definitely something that we believe in, and so it not only is easy to discuss and share and introduce yourself as, but it's also something that can enhance your well-being and your experience in this digital world that we are in. By the way, play can mean a lot of things. It doesn't need to be a video game. You can play the game of life. You can play golf. You can play video game. You can do a lot of things. Playing can just be something that is basically you're having a good time. You can call that playing. We're playing, just playing, chopping it up.
We play around in the community too, right? I mean, there are plenty of times where I am, interacting with people in the community and, spending a whole day in the community and not playing any video games.
There you go. I posted a picture of some seeds that I had planted 2 days ago that are coming up. I got 20 plants. I mean, I guess I'm, use it as I'm playing with the people who are into that kind of thing, like gardening as the spring is coming and the nicer weather is upon us.
Moving forward in the present, we've seen a lot of growth in the community, outreach, etc. What's your reaction to the sudden growth in 2020?
Well designed.
I don't think the growth was a result of COVID. I think COVID may have had some impact on us, but I think our growth has been steady before, during, and will be after COVID. So I don't think that's really a factor. I think the factor is, what we described before, that we're creating a community of like-minded people who want to have a fun, safe place to hang out with other people who are like them, and that is what keeps people coming to us and keeps our numbers growing. One of the things that I think I've noticed recently is that while we do have some active outreach, it's not scaled to try to recruit 10,000 people a day or anything like that. We couldn't handle that sort of growth right now. So we scale our recruiting efforts to the team or to the community with what we can handle, right? And so right now we have a good steady growth, and that's what we are looking for. One of the things where we get a lot of community participation or new folks is from the servers that we host, and those have been very key. Hosting servers for popular games that have players who are like us, right? Who are aggressively average tryhards and content creators, tech enthusiasts, and people who want to have a good time. So I think that growth has just been steady. It hasn't been exponential by design, because we want to grow at a good, sustainable pace, not outdo it ourselves.
Yeah, it was planned. We've always talked about how much do we want to grow, how much do we, what are we looking for in growth, and it's always been to maintain that vibe that we have from the very beginning, that we've had from the very, very beginning. Maintain the welcoming. I can chat with anybody. We can weed out the people who aren't, here for the right reason or are the wrong kind of trolls. So, like I said, it's well designed. We continue to reach that goal month over month. We continue to bring in great folks, and it hasn't been to the point where it's not well managed.
It's good to hear you guys are planning this growth and that it's calculated. You see too often that sudden stardom crashes faster, whereas steady, consistent growth has an actual lasting impact.
All right, so let's talk about NPA Partners. Who's NeverPlayAlone partnered with? I mean, we got a lot of partners. Well, relatively speaking, we have a good number of partners. So,
well, we're partnered with Nitrado, Extra Life, Arma, an apparel company, and now DreamHack. So as far as who's the most valuable partner, they're all very valuable in different ways. Nitrado offering the free servers or discounted server solutions for, however many we have. We use a lot of different server providers, but Nitrado is able to provide us, some servers for discounted price, and they've been phenomenal to work with over the past 2 years, just about. Extra Life is a nonprofit that is specifically geared towards giving back to children who are sick or in need of wellness, disconnect in the hospital. So they are, there's somebody I reached out to maybe back in 2018 and was, explaining what we're going towards and what we're doing and how we want to get involved with them and have our content creators back what their mission is, and helping kids heal through video games. So they're phenomenal. Obviously, Arma, they are our apparel company that we've partnered with to provide our elite jerseys, hoodies, jackets, t-shirts, and things like mouse pads, etc. They are based in the UK. They have been awesome to work with and incredible for the morale and hype, for our creators, to the people who love the community and the relationships they have here and want to just really feel like they are a part, because they are a part whether they have the merchandise or not. But, it's nice to really put on the jersey. I mean, for me personally, and anybody who believes that, and be like, I am with this movement. And then the last one is DreamHack. So we were approached by DreamHack to put on a tournament an invitational style tournament in April of 2021. So we're now officially partnered with them, who, by the way, were acquired by ESL. So we've been to ESL events on the floor, we've been to DreamHack events on the floor, and here we are now partnered with them. So, I mean, like attracts like, say who you want to be around and find them, attend those areas of interest and, find ways to align. I couldn't be happier. We continue to create our own path forward, So those are the current partners. Aside from, people like Black Matter, Team 17, who are publishers and video game developers, we're looking to partner with more developers and publishers into this year. There's a few games and a few relationships that I'm happy to know and share that are budding. I think we're going to have some really big, partnerships moving forward into 2021 as we continue to just grow.
Yeah. So as our growth continues and our popularity increases and people recognize the hard work that we're putting into the community, we will do less reaching out for partnerships, and partners will be reaching to us as naturally occurs. I also wanted to shout out Off-World Industries, right? We do work with them while we're not officially partnered with them. We do work with Off-World Industries, host servers and official servers. And then again, Black Matter has been huge in our, working together with us to create an awesome gaming environment in Hell Let Loose.
Looking towards the future of Never Play Alone, what are some of the games that we might introduce or invite as a community?
So I'll give you a couple of games, I guess, that are on our radar. There is Enlisted, that was released in November. You currently have to buy a founder's pack, but it will eventually be a free-to-play game created by the devs that are behind War Thunder and some of those other games. There is Operation Hash Doorstep. That is a project by Blue Drake, who is somebody who's been in this FPS, RTS, tactical shooter genre for quite some time. It's currently in very early alpha playtest stage. They would be awesome to partner with. Love their energy and their projects. Our community would greatly, enjoy being a part of their story. We also have Blackfoot Studios, who are the devs behind Ground Branch. It's a mix between like CS:GO and Escape from Tarkov. That is, I think it's released. I mean, it's still in early development. It's been a project that's been going on for a while, but the devs and the community behind the game are nice. They're mature. They respond well. They seem to have, there's direction for the future. They have a good roadmap. And if there's any way that we can help any of those games move forward in any capacity, ideally an official partnered capacity, we would love to align with those guys. So there's three for you.
Lately, we've been forming Hell Let Loose teams and competing in friendly environments. Where do you see Never Play Alone taking the competitive scene? Do we have a roadmap of sorts, or is it more of a, if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, I mean, there's always been the desire to compete. There's always been the desire to have a team, especially at the professional level. It's so early to have professional competitive teams. A lot of these teams that are here now today, FaZe, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, a lot of those guys, they're burning money. They have a lot of investors, and they're basically hoping for an upside eventually. They're early in, so they have a lot to gain by being Nobody forgets Coca-Cola. Everybody knows Pepsi, but Coca-Cola was the OG, right? So they're cementing themselves in this industry. There's still a lot to figure out, but yeah, we're very interested in the competitive scene, and and definitely very interested in the whole hosting of a tournament and hosting hosting the entire competitive scene as well. So it's been something that's been discussed, and when the time is right, we'll do it. We've got, like I mentioned earlier, we have something coming up with DreamHack. So we'll focus on that for now, and we'll see what is to come after that. But super excited. I don't know when this is going to be released, but the DreamHack event may have happened or will be happening by the time that this is out, and one foot in front of the other. So whether it's Hell Let Loose, whether it's Call of Duty, League of Legends, there's a few games that are like top of the list with esports. We definitely want to get involved. So we'll build from within, unless we are able to have some sort of, or want to seek out an investor and have somebody lead around. But I think it's still very early for that to go on for us personally in our roadmap. I'm very much enjoying the super hands-on approach from all people involved. And you lose a lot of that when you take on an investor. We're always big on building lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle brand. We focus on creating an exceptional digital experience and have, reach into the real world with our meetups, our merchandise, and, stuff like that. Oh, I should note that we also focus on promoting and kind of creating an environment that is conducive to smaller teams flourishing. So maybe they don't have servers, maybe they don't have the ability to coordinate, competitive matches, have people that they can kind of scrimmage with. We are NPA, Never Play Alone, is not only great as its own standalone kind of team and, just organization, but we really strive to help other smaller groups hit their goals, grow, and whether it's give them feedback on social media marketing or design. Sometimes they teach us stuff at NPA. I mean, it's great. So we really focus on helping, other teams as well.
Yeah, you like the idea of a community first and a competitive team second.
So I want to put in a plug here real quick for the NPA staff, right? So, having a competitive team or organizing an event or even something as large as a tournament takes a significant amount of time and dedication from people who right now on the Never Play Alone staff are volunteers, and hundreds, maybe thousands of hours, man hours every week are dedicated to Never Play Alone and the Never Play Alone servers and all of the admins who are individually vetted in order to make sure that we have the right people making decisions on our servers, keeping our community, a safe and fun place to be. All those things take time. They take effort. They take, brain power, and the will of the volunteers for the Never Play Alone community is amazing. So, while we could certainly execute a tournament, or we could host a meetup, right? We could host an event. We could certainly do that. It's a matter of finding the right people in the right amount of time to put that stuff together, right? So, we are taking that stuff a little at a time in order to, as we spoke before about not blowing up and then blowing out. While we could do those things, we need to also scale appropriately. That's so we have an ideas channel in the Discord, for example. I love to use that ideas channel as sort of a work list. We have, and it's open to all of the regular community members, and great things come from that work list. And many of the things that we've implemented in the community are a result of the ideas channel. Some of the ideas are, for 6 months, a year, 5 years down the road. they're all noted. We don't necessarily take action immediately, but sometimes we do, right? We have a great idea. It's easy. It takes a few minutes and we implement it. Sometimes it takes a few days and we implement that. But I wanted to shout out to the volunteer staff members who make Never Play Alone so great. We truly appreciate you.
So you already mentioned other gaming communities, teams like FaZe Clan and 100 Themes, right? Would you consider them to be role models of what we're going for, or are you only taking bits and pieces of these things and trying to make our own path?
Yeah, so FaZe Clan had a really interesting model. They were one of the first to do it, for sure. I mean, with the FaZe House, what they did was they had the backing. They had the investors. They basically had this big house full of esports, or creators living under one roof, creating together. And, obviously one hand washes the other kind of thing. Like they just coordinated and were able to collaborate and create some really awesome content. Some of it being lifestyle and fun, just chill to watch. And then some obviously being geared around events, tournaments, and esports. So FaZe Clan, really kind of created that, paved that way, right? In a big way. They're definitely an inspiration. 100 Thieves did very well with, their apparel, their hype, their ability to get the gaming and, esports and just this whole technology, entertainment side of things to the mainstream with the investment from like Scooter Braun and Drake and, some of the other venture capital firms that got involved during that round. So that really, put that taste in folks' mouth. I really hope they do well because their success affects everybody in the industry. And then, as far as like a esports team, I mean, Team Liquid I think they've been in the most competitions, the most tournaments. They're pretty much like the big dog, the boss dog. So as far as like an esports like team goes, they're the top of the top. For community like role models, I think Mr. Beast does so well with balancing his real life and friends and collaborations with other people, with like his content creation. He's a huge inspiration from like a content creator and a community, somebody who's cultivated a community and a following. And then Tim the Tap Man would be the other inspiration.
If people are interested in helping out the NPA staff, what can they do to get more involved?
To get more involved in the NPA staff, show up in the Discord, shoot us a message, talk in general, talk, like, what is it? Walk the talk. Don't talk. Just live it. Actually be it. We have a really great radar for judging characters, even though it's digitally. What is like a judgment of character, right? Through like our stomachs, essentially. We can really tell if somebody's good. And it takes time to do that. So you can express interest in that you want to be a leader. But we are very, very careful with our leadership, and we never make, decisions out of haste or quickly. So we want to make sure that people are aligned, understand what we're doing here, and have the ability to ask questions and learn before there's like a leadership position. But there's a lot of different areas where folks can help out. A lot of different areas. Some are more serious. Some are they're still serious, but they're very much less involved in the day to day, so to speak, or like with like very big decisions. So there's a lot of different places. Just shoot a message. Just shoot a message to myself and in the Discord or any of the other leaders, Aggressor. Just ask what's available, but more importantly, I'd say find something and fill the hole. Like if you can point something out and be like, I see potential to patch up, a hole in the ship that nobody saw, or I see an opportunity for growth that our members would benefit from. That is a surefire way to impress folks, because if you're dead on bullseye, then it means that you understand us potentially, and we get each other. So that's the best way to get involved.
So for the people who want to invest into the success of Never Play Alone, what are their options?
So currently we have two different options. There's the ability to support the team on the Patreon page or directly through a PayPal donation. Both of those are on either the website or in the Discord. So you can take a look there.
Not to mention volunteering your hours.
Absolutely.
We need good people, and that is very valuable as well.
Yeah, so that's dead on.
Well, to end this podcast on a fun note, to get to know you guys a bit more, I'll ask some quick questions for each of you. Chuck, who are your favorite role models?
So as far as family goes, I'm lucky to say my dad is my favorite role model as a family man and a leader of a family. As a joke, Steve Ballmer has always been my favorite CEO to say. He was the CEO at Microsoft for a while. The company itself did really poorly, but his presentations were just hilarious and unforgettable. He was the CEO for Microsoft who got on stage and was like fist pumping and yelling and jumping. And you thought he was just I don't know. Just Google it. It's a whole thing. I love saying that he's my favorite CEO. But honestly, entrepreneurial wise, my role models would be Elon Musk with everything he's done and overcome and, the mistakes, air quotes, that he's made and the crap that he stepped in and been able to dust off. I mean, that dude is so resilient and brilliant. It's amazing. And then as far as personal development and state of mind role model, that's Jim Rohn. He was an incredible, just mind shaper, if is the best way to describe it. So check out Jim Rohn if you don't know him.
Aggressor, do you have any role models that you look up to?
Yeah, of course. Probably some people you've never heard of, or many people have never heard of. But I have two of them. One is his name is Brandon Turner. He is an entrepreneur extraordinaire and an all-around great guy. Does business very well. And another guy you may be familiar with, his name is Admiral John Mustin, Vice Admiral in the U.S. Navy. He's also an entrepreneur, business owner, and a full-time Navy admiral whose family has an incredible history, and they even have a ship named after him. So, those two are my role models for sure.
Awesome. Chuck, do you have a favorite book?
Yeah, I have a lot of favorite books, but I think if I chose three different genres, like fiction, Lord of the Rings, loved reading those. A book that really kind of changed my whole path forward that I'd recommend, maybe high school or starting college kids to read is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Very formed my whole thought process around positivity and approaching situations and not pissing people off. And then as far as a true kind of story goes, In the Heart of the Sea, that's based on a book of just human, survival and the lengths that people go to overcome challenges. It's actually a movie as well. I think they made it into a movie, but the book is obviously way better.
What are your favorite books, Aggressor?
Yeah, I do. I have one. So I'm a sci-fi fan, and I hate it when people link sci-fi and fantasy together because they're completely different. But my favorite sci-fi book is called Seven Eves, EVES. It's a post-apocalyptic space-based world civilization. And my favorite business book is called Good to Great. Just those three words I try to live my life by. Something Chuck says frequently is there's no half-assing. Well, to say it more politically correct, let's change good to great. So I love that book as well.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, so I don't do social media, but the only social media I do is Discord. So hit me on Discord, Aggressor with a 3, 9012, or go to npa.gg join the Discord, and you can find me there.
Yeah, same for me. In Discord first and foremost, but also on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at the handle Chuck Dixx, DIXX.
Thank you guys for coming on Never Podcast Alone, first episode, and being so much fun to talk with.
Thanks a lot, Canadia, for putting this together. I know it takes a lot of work. It may be invisible to the people who are listening, but a lot goes behind a production like this and making it run smoothly. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, Canadia, thank you so much for kicking it off like this, man. Pleasure.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Please feel free to find us at discord.gg/NPA and tell us what you thought about this episode. Check out our website, npa.gg, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Never Podcast Alone, where we talk about Hell Let Loose and the recent winter seasonal. See ya.